Oh, it's right. Oh. Test. All right, now we're good. There we go. Press down too much.
I'll reach out to you. Just connect. She's just amazing. I love that. Is she ortho trained or is she classic trained?
Welcome back to day 2 of the Working Mom Conference. We have a brunch, a keynote speaker from Danielle Melton, and a panel questionnaire. You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned. We'll start at 11.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
I will. I want you everybody to get set up.
Yeah. And I'm my ABTA is also once a month. But yeah, we've of course had conversations, but like just when I was with her, she's like, I just want to be I can't, but everyone around me, I love that. And we have daughters who are the same age, so that's so nice. There's this like, have you ever seen The Descendants? Oh, there's 4,012. Yeah, so there's this song like, don't you want to keep me so we always got but I'm gonna, I'll yes, if you're connected, she's just wonderful. That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Everyone is just going we've had descendants meetings marathons. I know. That was good. I have not been forced to see my girls both watched it like 8 times. Super. As they said. So after Carlos started. I know, it's hard. They do a nice memorial. They do. When we watched that one, I hysterically cried. My kids were like, fine. You know, he wasn't real. Like, no, he still wasn't real. Good morning, Sam. And then how are you? Good morning. I listened to I got my drive home 5 hours later. I did. I didn't find everybody's fine. Mine's non-existent, so it'd be easy for you. I told my husband that we did this podcast interview yesterday. Podcast. Yes, I did. Never do something like that. Step outside the box. from you a couple times or certain things are worth this much.
Yes.
There's a place around here in amazing everything. And they also just like everything spicy, everything. There's and then there's one in Burke, and it's on the street where I'm driving from the OR to work out. It doesn't happen frequently. Eggs, because like somebody's everything here and on an everything they buy. So electric. I got so excited. It's like my like happiness. So I ordered it today. I had one last week and it's like something you dream about. Oh, you're what you got? Yeah, you were like, oh, I got my pajamas, and
I hit the rain driving home, and I was originally going to take myself to dinner at a restaurant in another part of the house, but too far. So I was directly from LA. I really like going to the menu. But just not that. Yeah, I want to say something I'm good. I just go back to my dinner. So if I take myself out to dinner, that's where I'll carry myself over. Then normally she's over. I sit down. I take myself to dinner quite often. I'm very good for myself. I date myself very much. But so I went, I pulled up, and it was really pouring rain. There was no seats for a lot, and there was like a wine and vegetables. I'm like, this is not meant to be. So then I like just play and I gave them the car. And it was quite nice. So I'm like on the video call with my best friend at the same time. Enjoying myself by myself. And I got home and I made eggs. You get out like in mid-treat now.
I love it. They're just trying to get the mic out of everybody. And especially since my daughter is going through so many definitely. I love it when she's there. Because that rest will be a whole thing around 6 time to read her class. So, this surgery,
That's what this how you did it? You did it. Like, even to this day, my mom's like, I still can't tell them apart. I don't know which one to pick. Unless they're wearing a name tag. You know, they are. Thank I was
I
it was like all the ads got pregnant, like it was around the same time. So like when my mom was pregnant, she had 3 of them at the same time. So our birthdays are September, December, January. So like the next round is coming up to their 40s next year. And so one was got more stories. So I got to join the next one. Set our 40s, but we also have 3 that are turning 40 next year, and 3 that are turning 50 next year. So we're trying to figure out where are we? My father also was 70. So I'm my cousin, my aunt's my uncle, everyone was all Irish. Half Irish and Russian, which I hate every year. So like my cousin's really sad. My mother's like, so I'm not going to find it. So I told her, and I was like, you kind of understand my family, and I asked her how that is. Like, mine, like, great, yeah, I thought that was insane. I did it over and we married a few times and everything was we're proud of him for that. All of my cousins are in Europe. So my grandfather came over. So my grandfather came over from Russia, and my mother was born here. And then so when I my mother grew up, if my father came over here by 1989 from Ireland to work for the summer, I met my mom. So all of my dad's still alive. I saw my dad from a lot of times. So we were always passing along before they would live over there. And then I was working around this summer. I was trying to rent a car with the BYD for money. Whatever it was. And when she was around that, my mother came over for the summer, and I was like, my husband came over for the summer, and I'm like, our daughters are not going anywhere near the Jersey Shore. They're not going to play like so my husband and my father grew up almost a mile away from each other in Ireland before Adler was over here. My husband lived in one of our father. He knows all my uncles and aunts and my cousins and everyone. It's one of those people like, that doesn't sound real. No, really. That is. And we also have my oldest cousin is married to my husband and his sister. And then like, I was like, how many already for this all over again? And it's just one of those like, oh yeah, they met over there. They met over there with family. And now come around because I'm like, what's the right way? And I'm like, brother-in-law, what do we do? So now we drove around that our side of the family is better than his side, like that, right? And the whole thing. So we all like interrelated that kind of shit. Like where we live, we all do one cul-de-sac. There was 14 houses between me and him, all related to the 14 houses. Yeah. So I had my Irish citizenship for my father, and then we moved over there. We lived there for 3 years, and my oldest daughter was born there. And then I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, moved back here, and then after she was about a year and a half, I was pregnant with her citizenship. So both of my girls hold citizenship. I said why as well. I said, well, I don't think okay. Well, I said to my girls, I was like, you go to school, college, or university, I refuse. The thing is, this country is something that's over there. And I'm like, I have no problem paying for it over there. It's like my one cousin's daughter just graduated with her in and everything else. And she's like, a little nervous because my student loans are starting to be due soon because I'm only here at my job. And over there, the year after you graduate, your student loans start only if you have a job in the field of your degree. So it was like, well, if you don't mind me asking, you said, how much? How much did it cost? And she goes, well, to be fair, I put everything, my student loans. She goes, I put my housing, all of my food, my tuition, and my books. And I was like, well, how much is it? She goes, yeah, that's one semester. I was going to say, that's not even a semester. That is one semester for a Gen Ed living at home in Broward for South Jersey. And like my husband turned around, I'm like, this is why, because if we just went to a friend.
Yes. It's so funny.
I'll put it better to you. My friend who, I don't know how old you are, my friend graduated med school in 1999, okay?
I think they're just trying to I love you.
Okay, so she graduated med school in 1999.
It was, I don't know.
And she's been paying back her student loans. She is, she works in something I don't know. At Mount Sinai in Boston. She's up in Boston. And her student loans at that $250,000. I said to her the other day, I was like, how are they going? She goes, I still owe you about $98,000. I'm like, it's been 25 years.
So Target, if you put in X number of money when you're the goal, everyone collect like basically she was like trying to take it back 4 years for all. So my brother, I can go to siblings. So they didn't have to college. They were sending people in. No, but they wanted to be graduate.
Party a couple weeks ago for a friend of our son who just graduated from Drexel. And he got his master's in architectural engineering. And he's like, our friend Paul was talking
Because the thing is, we think everybody is registered. All our peers are registered. They really not.
He goes, I never went to college. Like, none of us went. Like, I didn't go to college. I was like, thinking graduate high school. I'm like, and we're sitting there talking to people who want to show like, and I was like, this is why I said my girls. Yeah. Like, this is one of our clothes that we can afford. Our girls should go to school here. Absolutely. And I'm like, because we also hold EU passports.
Well, definitely
They can go anywhere. Oh, yeah. They can also.
I don't think she wants. No, it's not secure because he's traveling a lot. And he's been going to Italian citizenship for sure. I mean, well, now you can say that, but you know, but before that, before she was even.
So I would do about 1 minute or so. If you want to make something about home use citizenship, there's plenty of food downstairs. And then we
because a friend of mine, because there's like 5 or 6 countries that if you have a grandparent or even a great grandparent, you can then claim it. Italy's one, Greece is one. Oh, back here. I'll have your look around. No, she's like clean up her scratch. Where is
Even though she like gives them like we just did our whole thing out here. So I got an idea when I was driving.
Lunch you have right here. And then as long as you get one, you come in here. Country of makeup with you. And you got
My mom really wanted to know. I never went to Italy, so I still got down there. Pre-pandemic, I went over stayed with our family, and we were like talking about how fair we were and another guy. She started with Sophia, and I started after right now, she started dating. We're talking about it before my son was born, so hadn't been.
Okay, lady, put music down.
She was like starting the process. She's there. She's there.
All right, welcome to day 2. I hope you enjoyed the brunch. But the food was okay, it was really good. The caterer, I see he sent out business cards and wants all of your business. So please call him if you ever have an event or a party. He's awesome. And if you, like I said, there's plenty of food left. So if you're in the area, please take a plate home. And they would love that. But welcome to day 2. This is the time, as you can see, it's more laid back, right? We're here to just talk and mingle and have a good time. And then we have our panel discussion first to talk about self-love, confidence, and beauty, because I think that's really important when we are talking about motherhood and just, I'm not going to steal a thunder because I can go on for days. But I have a surprise for you. Let's see if we can see her. On here, one of our panelists, Elle Benson, is in our hotel, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and what's going on here, but this is a fun twist. So hi, Elle.
Hello, I'm in Philly. My first time ever came from Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm in the hotel room.
Can you hear her very well?
Yes. Awesome. I traveled all the way here to be here with y'all. So excited, and then thought, why is my nose running and why am I tired? Let me take a COVID test, and I have COVID. So I am not being y'all sick. Although I hear it was totally awesome. But that's what we do at home. We don't allow ourselves to be sick. So anyway, I am here in Philly in spirit with you, but I am not in your physical space.
And no worries. But really quick, can you tell them who you are, how you came on board with the Working Mom Conference, and then how they can connect with you after?
Oh, I would love that. So I'm convinced I run a consulting firm for nonprofits, helping nonprofits build in capacity to be more impactful in our communities. I'm also, oh my God, a happiness researcher. I do research and study the science of happiness. I've published several books, and my favorite thing are working moms. How can we translate the science that is measurable of happiness, and how can we boost our happiness? It is contagious, so how can it then support our families, our workplaces, our communities at large? So I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. I'm Cultivate Your Happiness, and if you look me up on LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn. I'm Elle Benson, and after this, I'm going to post a video of some of my answers too, so it's less awkward being on this. But I want to connect with you. Please reach out, and I'd love to share some of the data and science around happiness and how it translates for moms.
Thank you so much, Elle. Thank you for even coming in, and I'm sorry this happened, but you coming in and logging in and saying hi to moms is monumental, so I will have all that information for them to connect with you. Stay safe, get better, and then we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, that was fun, right? Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, we have our panelists. With me. I'm going to bring this around. You good to go? Okay, so without further ado, we have our panelists. But like I said, we're going to be talking about beauty, self-confidence, and love. And in that, if our panelists could go to this pretty place on this side, and that would be great. We have Nicole from the Motherhood Village, and Marie, a wellness mindset coach. And our last one, I was going to get on the panel, but I think with the talk about self-love and confidence and beauty in itself, I think an expert in your body would be really nice. So Clarissa is going to be joining the panel and talking to us about those things. So first and foremost, I'm gonna switch this mic over so that you guys can introduce yourself. I say guys because I work in the military, I'm sorry. Ladies, you ladies can introduce yourself. Give me a second. Hello, hello.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Krista, for having me. And it's been so lovely to meet all of you. So yes, I'm Nicole Gonzalez Cumberbatch. I'm the founder of the Motherhood Village. It is a community for mothers where our focus is mental health. And we focus on mental health through my top-rated podcast, a lot of social events, community engagements, workshops in South Florida.
Hello, my name is Marie Armitage and I'm the coach at easejoycoach.com. My specialty is really helping people crystallize their vision and help them have strategies so they can have more ease, joy, and fun without sacrificing their family, their faith, or their finances, because that's what they say you have to sacrifice. So, no.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clarissa Shepard, also known as the Pilates Mommy on Instagram. And what I do and what I'm about is helping moms, and particularly, become the best versions of themselves through fitness and wellness. I'm located in the DMV area.
Okay, we have some tough questions. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Okay. Here. Well, like I said, the first topic that we'll talk about is beauty. And I want to ask a mindset coach, Marie, when it comes to beauty and the perspective, how do you define beauty and how your perception of beauty changed since becoming a mother?
I love this question because my definition of beauty is more in alignment with not the generation that I grew up with, but the generation that's around now more. Just being yourself and showing up as you and your body, like not using Spanx. Like I no longer use it. That is one of my things. It does not have to be one of yours. Okay? If you feel comfy with Spanx, wear Spanx. You be you, and I think there's beauty in like every single body. I am a Girl Scout leader, and one of the things that I did with the girls ever since they were very little is they would have a compliment challenge every time that we would go out, and they would compliment women just on something that they liked. When we were doing cookie sales or whatever, I really like your bag, you're really pretty, I really like your hair, you know, and they're not just asking people to buy cookies, because we have to encourage one another, especially as women, and seeing the beauty of one another. So
We should do that right now. Look to your mother and compliment her. Just a little compliment. Look. Thank you. Look, you're
I say that all the time. I was just gonna say it.
Oh, and I have more than one compliment, and I love that. I love people that compliment me.
Okay, so for our next question, Nicole. Yeah, look, I still did all of it. No worries. How can working mothers balance the pressure of societal beauty standards with their own personal and professional responsibilities?
I guess to piggyback off of what you said, I think a lot of it is just being authentic. Being a mother is hard, being a working mother is hard, being a business owner and a working mother is hard. So I think it's really tapping in, like, the older I get and the more wisdom I get in my son growing, and pouring more into my toolbox, I think it's just so important to just tap more into what makes me happy, again, going to your point, because then it also flows to my son or to our children. And yeah, so I would say just showing up and being authentically you and truthfully doing the work to get there. I think one of the things that has just served me is being really self-assured, and I'm very, like, I can look at the mirror if something's going wrong and be like, all right, I have my little Nikki G that I call her on my shoulder. That's like, listen, honey, like, you have to look in the mirror and own the things that maybe you didn't do right. If there's a challenging situation, I think we can always grow from that. So I guess to answer your question is really tapping in and knowing yourself, what serves you, what doesn't. Because not only does that translate into you becoming a better you, but then you can also pass that to your children, because they're the ones that, remember, you know, or we all say, like, they don't do as we say, they do as we do. So the more we can tap into who we are, I think it just helps us become better moms, and also serving us in the workplace as well.
When it comes to beauty in itself, we're going to do a Q&A. So does anyone have any questions for the panelists when we talk about beauty and the perception of beauty and how that translates into motherhood, or how that may have changed?
How do you guys make beauty easy for you? Like, if you would all share with us a little bit, like, what's your routine? What do you do for yourself? Are there things you've outsourced?
So, being in South Florida, the humidity is crazy, and it's already my kind of curls have turned into waves the older I get. So yes, I outsource and do a blow dry membership, and that was something I have always said when I was younger. I was like, I want to pay someone to blow dry and do my hair. So I do. So I outsource that because I don't have the time nor the energy. I have a lot of hair. So for me, simplicity is key, and turning 41 this year, of understanding the importance of serums and SPF and things like that. So I try and invest in as much as I can in skincare and not feeling guilty about it. Tip for all of you guys, I love doing the Sephora like travel minis, because then you can test different products instead of getting a large. So I love getting like different minis of different brands. But yeah, I mean, I don't no longer feel sorry about investing in skincare that will make me feel good. But yeah, I outsource my hair and try and keep my makeup and stuff as simple as possible.
The biggest thing that I've done so far, outsource that cleaning lady. Okay, do it. So I know you might.
For sure.
Yeah, I know you might think, oh, it's an extra added expense, but I'm telling you, I get it once a month. And granted, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they still throw things all over the floor. But nonetheless, having that cleaning lady once a month is amazing, because I don't feel the pressure to do that deep clean all the time. Something else that I do that's worked really well is have a group of friends that are a little bit older. And when I say little bit, I really mean a lot of it, like 50 or 60 years old. Being around that group of women, especially with that age group, you just get this sense of this wisdom and this knowledge that, and this nice self-assurance that you might need, that you may or may not get from like your mom or your grandma or anything like that. I wasn't able to get that from them. So having a group of women that kind of said, Clarissa, you need to wear lipstick when you go out. Or Clarissa, you need to put your hair this way. Oh yeah, they're Persian women. So I don't know if you know about Persian women, but they don't play any games. And so having that group really helped me kind of, I don't want to say set the standard of beauty, but it helped me enhance some beauty tips that I didn't know or that I was capable of. And then last but certainly not least, being present in every single thing in every single moment, even being present right now. But when I say being present just from in your everyday lives, I'm talking, say you are grabbing some groceries and you're looking at your Apple Watch and you're like, man, I'm like 500 steps away from hitting maybe that goal. So park a little further away. Just certain things like that are things that help me feel a little bit more beautiful. I hope that kind of answers.
So I'm a big proponent of the house cleaner too. And if you need us to sign a petition for your husband, just get the paper started and we'll all sign it for you. So I'm all for outsourcing the things that you hate to do. Those dreaded things. There's even services that'll take your laundry for you and return it in 2 days. There are moms out there who love to do laundry, and so they sign up. It's like a network marketing thing. They sign up for it, and you pay $35, and they take a Costco-sized kitchen bag of dirty clothes and return it to you 2 days later, folded and clean. So those types of things, if you can, and I'm also all for figuring out those boundaries. In our coaching program, we call them $1 million boundaries, but figuring out at home, what your standards are, what are your policies for what you'll accept and what you won't accept. And so working with your partner, if you've got a partner, working with your kids, if you've got kids, I'm all for kids doing chores that are basically their age appropriate. So go to IKEA and get a little dustpan and a little room thingy and let them play. And that's how I found out my daughter loves to organize things. So she would get a reward. She'd be allowed to organize a kitchen cabinet if she did her chores. That was because she liked it so much. I was like, okay, well, you can't do that unless you XYZ. And so those types of things help me to be more beautiful and show up more beautiful because I'm not dreading all the stuff that I have to do that I hate. Oh, and clothes. I'm not going to say I'm awful, but it is not my giftedness to figure out outfits. There's an app or a service called Armoire, ARMOIRE. It's a woman-owned business out of Seattle. They have stylists. They will figure out your clothes. It costs about $100 a month, and they will send you 5 to 7 pieces of clothes. And this is one of their outfits. And they do all the cleaning of it. So if you like their outfits, then you can keep them for the month, and if you don't, they'll just give you a bonus one the following month. So it ends up working out to be pretty economical.
I do want to pick before another question, because the fitness aspect and certain things and being mindful of that. For anyone that, I think we're always in postpartum. I had asked the therapist on the podcast, when does postpartum really end? And truthfully, I think we can continuously be here, right? Especially as our kids have different transitions, especially when you have another child. And one of the things I struggled with after having my son is that prior to that, I was very fortunate. I never had to struggle with body weight. I was always very skinny and thin and never had to worry. And then after having my son, I gained some weight, and it took me many years after the postpartum stage, say that in quotes, to kind of get back to feeling me. So for any mom out there that's still trying to figure that out, give yourself grace, give yourself patience. My son is turning 7 in November, I turned 41, and it's really been this year and starting last year where I had to, again, the self-awareness of looking in the mirror and saying, okay, you keep saying you don't have time. I had to look at myself in the mirror and saying, there's a coach that will train you at 6 a.m. Get up at 5:30 and go to the gym. If it's something you really want. And at that point, I said, yes, I want to be here till I'm 115 to be here for my son. I have to look in the mirror and say, okay, enough is enough. So I invested in a trainer last February to get up that early and then have been more on a journey. But my whole point of that is anyone who's struggling, give yourself grace and patience. And for a while, that just wasn't my top priority, and I was okay with that. It wasn't until it became a priority for me, because I felt myself getting tired and more sick, that I was like, all right, we gotta make some changes here. But give yourself patience and grace.
Thank you. And one of the
the unique parts of the Working Mom Conference is how do you take those resources and services and implement those into your life? Because I know maybe some of you are hearing this service, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. More money, how, you're working and you have your child. How do you do these things? And when we talk about experts, I think reaching out to them to see how, as a working mom, can I implement that? And just take that time to not try to do it in 30 days. Take that time to say, okay, this is the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to reach out to Samantha Zaxby because that's fine, right? I have this. What is the first thing I'm going to do? This is my body, and transparency. I did lipo because I said, let me get a kickstart. I'm going to reach out, and I don't know if you do that, but maybe you know someone who does.
Just what?
Lipo.
Oh, get it, girl.
Yeah. I'm gonna reach out, and I'm gonna do that. So I would encourage those connections to do that and just tackle one thing at a time, and not feel overwhelmed.
And there's for exercise.
Yeah. I also have a YouTube channel. I know you're sort of kind of getting to know who I am on the panel, but I teach Pilates, and I know Pilates is like a super buzzword right now. But to be fair, I've been teaching it before the Lori Harvey buzzword. I was doing the Pilates when my parents told me to get a real job 9 years ago, not even kidding. And I say that to say, Pilates, it's free on my YouTube. It's catered towards moms. I do a lot of mommy and me events, mommy and me workouts. It's called Pilates Mommy. Yeah. But it's spelled with, at the end, M-A-M-I-I. So that's how you can find it. It's a little spicy, so that way it can grow with you.
Yes,
Because they're not always going to be maybe kids of small, or moms of smaller children. It's a little spice to it, You can be a hot mamacita, right?
My question is not only to the panelists, but for everyone. Since we're talking about like fitness and things like that, because I love fitness, but I've been diagnosed with PCOS. So is there anybody knows any research or anything where I can focus more on that? Because
I was diagnosed with PCOS at 14.
Oh wow.
As polycystic ovarian syndrome. I was one of the first people in this area diagnosed with it.
Wow.
And I've been on a journey, and I work with my OB. She's out of Christiana, Delaware. And I've worked with her hand in hand for almost 30 years.
Wow.
Exercise with PCOS is completely different than exercising with anything else.
Yeah.
You can run on a treadmill for 100 miles a day. You could do all of the things, and your hormones will say, not having it. With PCOS, the hardest thing is realizing that your body's completely different than everyone else's. And even though they're saying this fad diet, this exercise, this thing, you have to take it back really far. So like you said, you did Pilates for way before it became a thing. I started doing yoga back in 1994, where I had to find a hippie woman with dreads to teach me how to do it. And you have to figure it out. And then also, the hardest part is give yourself grace, because as your body cycles, it doesn't matter what you do, that weight will stay on. And then there'll be other times that it will nicely come off, and accepting the journey of it as well is it's more of a mental than actually a physical.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I used to do a lot of HIIT workouts.
That will do nothing.
I am like a crazy gym person. I'm one of those. I go to the gym every day, and I would do 2-a-days, and I was like, something is wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now they're like, well, those HIIT workouts aren't working for you. You have to do more of like walks and yoga and right. And I'm like, mentally that messes me up, because I'm in the gym sweating, and now I'm doing more core workouts, not sweating as much. But this is supposed to be the best option for me.
The first things they explain to you that we learned through process of elimination, long, slow walks, which is really hard to do, because especially as a mom, you're like, I gotta walk faster, I gotta get to where I'm going, and you're like, I have to mindfully slow myself down. And then doing things like yoga, or doing things like Pilates, or things like that, help way more for your body because with PCOS, the biggest problem is your hormones. And if you're doing something like HIIT, that's raising your cortisol levels, which is then throwing your hormones up into anxiety levels. So it will not let you lose a pound of anything. And it's changing the mindset of what you're seeing in TV, in media, and everything else. It's like, do CrossFit, do this, do that, and that is the worst thing you can do when you have polycystic.
I just want to piggyback off of that because I have two clients currently, and one in the past that had PCOS. And the biggest thing that I said to her, or asked her every time I saw her, was, how do you feel today? So I would highly recommend getting with a trainer or finding an exercise modality that will allow you to work with somebody directly so they can cater the workout to how you're feeling in that particular moment during that day, because it matters. Because that's how she was able to lose weight, and then sometimes she gained weight, and it was all based off of how she was feeling. So a lot of times I spent time just coaching her and saying, hey, you got this, Kristen, you're good. Because she would be stressed out so flustered, like, hey, it's okay. You're here. You're moving. We're having an experience. It's good.
That's good. Yeah, of course. Please connect. So that you guys know. So that you know what it is. So our next topic is confidence. And I think we all have our own personal journeys of what motherhood looks like after we have a baby. And I thought I was this, that, and the third, and insulting myself before my baby. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, why would I do that? And then after motherhood, I'm like, I looked great. I was on top of the world. So when it comes to confidence, I would, to help with time, let's talk about what we can do. We have strategies for working moms. How can you use those to overcome your feelings of inadequacy, overcome your feelings of the fact that you have to balance work and your own family responsibilities? What strategies do you have for the ladies of how to build confidence?
So the motherhood village, right? We all hear village, and a lot of times people assume the village is the people that you surround yourself with to take care of your kids, but really the motherhood village is the village that you surround yourself for you. But it's also what you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're reading, who you're speaking with. We talk about social media, unplugging. How many of you sometimes feel inadequate when you're doom scrolling, right? Doesn't that bring down your confidence? I was talking, I think to Jennifer, we were talking, and I had said, I've never, or someone else maybe yesterday, I was like, I've never struggled with my mental health more than when I became a business owner, just because there was so much of the inadequacy and am I capable, and I see other people doing similar things. So I say all that to say, you have to be mindful of the things that you're putting into your mind. It's also the things that we eat. I'm sure even with the PCOS diet, it took a long time for me to understand that, because like I said, for years I ate whatever I want, whenever I wanted, and now I have to be even more mindful because I can no longer eat the things I used to love some years ago. So I would just say, I guess high level for me is making sure that you're surrounding yourself with the positivity that you need for yourself. So if something doesn't make you feel good after you're speaking to someone, after you're reading something, then keep it away. And again, being self-aware and understanding how your body, how your nervous system feels, and that will help you. Because the more uplifting stuff you're getting, you're going to allow you to be more confident because you're filling your cup that way. So that would be my little tidbit.
Something that I do to help me feel confident is I either think thoughts or say thoughts that I would say to somebody else. It's really that simple for me. If I don't feel comfortable saying it to someone else, I don't say it to myself. And yeah, that's pretty simple for me. Yeah, I don't need to add on to that.
I love that. That's almost like the people who are attacking you on the internet, or
wouldn't say it to
comment,
their
and
face,
you're
yeah.
like,
You wouldn't.
why would I think that? So when you're having those feelings of inadequacy, I was talking with some people about this downstairs, I think it also ties into the whole mom guilt and all of those, like you're hearing the shoulds from in-laws or from, different people who are telling you should, or even from the doom scrolling. if we were at a restaurant and your server comes and gives you a plate of food that you didn't order, would you keep that food and just go, well, I guess this is what I have to eat? No. You would give the food back and you'd say, no, I didn't order that. In the same way, when those thoughts start coming to you, you do have the opportunity at that point to go, oh, I didn't order that. That's not for me. No, thank you. You don't have to receive that guilt. You don't have to receive those thoughts. Like you were saying, you wouldn't say it to yourself. So in the same way, those inadequate thoughts or the shoulds or the they would say or what would they think, all of that stuff, you have the opportunity to say, no, thank you. That doesn't fit with my vision. That doesn't fit where I want to go. And so having that power is important to recognize.
For the Working Mom Conference in itself, one of our biggest missions is to have mothers and leaders like Nicole and some of the other mom communities that are out here, to bring them all together to know and address issues and talk about those issues that they see on a daily basis in Florida, in Oklahoma, in New York, just all over. Just we are all facing kind of the same things, but it could be a little bit different and amplified. So with that, hold on, question. How can working moms create a supportive network that encourages confidence and self-esteem? I know you talked about that a little bit, Clarissa, just being very intentional about who is speaking to you. So if you want to speak on that.
Yeah, so community is everything. I mean, there are statistics that show, in even some of these blue zones, some of the most healthiest countries that have the healthiest people, community is at the top of that list. Like, we're not meant to do life alone. We're definitely not meant to do life alone in motherhood. And again, not only to raise or help raise our children, but really uplift us. Because then once mom is good, we can transition that into what we need for our children. So I would say, although I have a thing with Facebook groups, but I do. I wouldn't utilize them for mommy questions, but if you need to find a play date or something, like there's Meetup, there's Peanut is a great app. I am hoping to franchise a Motherhood Village so we can be all over the country of like just building community. But yeah, I mean, seeking that out there, like unfortunately you know what, and I'll say this as an actionable item. I was talking to a psychologist on the podcast, and she said sometimes mommies put these blinders on, right? We're so busy, so at drop off. Where do we see the most kids and parents? At preschool, at daycare. As I'm building the Motherhood Village, I wouldn't even tell any of these moms that I had a community, because I'd be like, no, I have to drop him off and I have to leave, without realizing how many moms go to his school. So there's something, start a group at your mom's school. I saw recently someone is going to kindergarten. She posted in a mommy city group that was like, hey, let's do a meetup. Like, start it yourself if it's not there. But if your child is in school, I think that's a great way. It's just a lot of times we're busy and we don't think. I'm sure someone will meet up for a play date, and just getting 1 or 2 moms, I think, is a good start. So that's what I would say.
Okay, so let me clarify. The question is about the connecting,
Supportive network.
getting a supportive network.
Create a supportive network that encourages confidence and self-esteem.
Okay. A supportive network that encourages confidence and self-esteem. I think that for me, it's really finding a squad of people with the same type of values, and not just like religious belief systems. I'm talking about values as to what is important for kids and how you want to raise your kids. Because I truly believe in the value of diversity and the types of friends that they have and the type of environments that they're in, so that they realize, the world is big and it's not little, and we're not living in a bubble. So at the same time, I think a lot of it has to, I've had an opportunity to be in rooms like this, and the people who you find that are kindred spirits, connect with them, make sure you have those connections, send them a quick message when you're thinking about them. It could be 6 months from now, but you're like, oh yeah, and just send them a message. And it doesn't have to, because, how cool is that when you get a message from somebody who's just like, hey, I was thinking of you today, just wondering how you're doing, or I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's just not to feel like it has to be this heavy, big thing. It can be just a really simple, because you never know.
You're on it today. Everyone, take out your phone. Let's take out your phone. Think of someone who you haven't talked to in a while and say, hey, I'm at the working mom conference. I was just thinking about you. Just okay, go ahead, Marie. I'm sorry. I love this activity.
But yeah, how important that is.
Listen, you go ahead.
I think something that you can also do is look within your family if you're able to utilize them. I think that's really, really important. Sometimes I think that gets missed, whether it be a mom, grandma, sister, old friend, somebody that you've been, I guess, your rider for a while. You can continue that relationship and build on with them. I would just also piggyback what these ladies said about going to that local daycare or going to your child's school and just actually like putting the phone down or maybe leaving your phone in the car and just saying, hey, I'm such and such. I'm so and such's mom. How are you today? Or, oh my God, girl, I really like your shirt. You'd be amazed how many relationships you build just off of giving someone a compliment. And then next thing you know, you have a nice little community. And something else that I would say that you can do as well is do or find activities that you like to do that you can include your kids with. So for example, just a tangible one, I like running, and there's little runs for kids. So I find, I already like running, I'm like, cool, killing two birds with one stone, all about efficiency. So I would say try things like that bring you joy and happiness, and that you can include your kids in it as well. So I hope that helps.
I will say one more thing. Sam and I were talking just for a second yesterday, and I asked her, because there's an age gap between the two of us, and I'm like, what can I do to help these younger moms that I run into at the elementary school or at the whatever? And she said, just include them. So I would say when you're in those places, you're waiting, before you can let the elementary school kids go into the school, or you're at the bus stop, look for those people that are a distance in age from you, the younger ones and the older ones. I have a friend who's like 10 years older than me who had a baby the same time I did, and everybody thinks that she's their grandma, as opposed to, but being inclusive and inviting those people in, it's hugely important too.
And for our last question, we are at the Working Mom Conference. When you go into the office or you go into work, it's really important that you exude that confidence that comes with after motherhood. I don't know if anyone has experienced any kind of discrimination because you are a mother. I heard of this thing on the internet called parent privilege. It came out of nowhere. I don't know what that is. But apparently bosses are like, oh, well, you can leave because you have to get your kid and you don't get penalties. That's parent privilege. What? I don't understand. But the question lies in, what can you do once you become a mother in the workplace that makes sure that you aren't overstepping this confidence as a woman or have this pretty privilege because you're doing these things? Just any aspect that comes with being a mother in the workplace confidently.
I think yesterday, a lot of women spoke. LaShawn, Samantha, right? Yes. About the different things, ERGs. Jennifer spoke about the superpower. I think we've even alluded to it here, like tap into what your strength is. I think there's two types of working moms. I think there's the corporate moms where you're working for a corporation that actually can invest in ERGs. The corporations I worked in weren't really corporate entities, they were more private. So I had to get really sharp with things I needed to ask for because we were smaller, so we didn't have ERGs. So I had to connect with other moms in the workplace to say, hey, this is not serving us. I've been very fortunate that throughout my life, I've always been the problem solver. I've always been someone to kind of be the voice of the people. It's kind of just what it's always been. But if you're not, seek out those who can help you. So yeah, I would say, try and find the programs that are within your corporation that you work for. Look for another mom that you can connect with. If there is something that isn't serving you, again, going to them, finding out, go to HR, see the programs that are available. We talked yesterday, there's so many programs on the table that we don't even know about. So yeah, I would say because there is strength in numbers. And then number two, the more you pour into yourself, the more you can feel confident. I don't think, you can't say it enough, like you have to take care of you. And who did the presentation yesterday? I think that was showing like the self-care, but then there's, I think it was LaShawn, where she was like, there's self-care, but then there's also the maintenance. And I wrote that, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to share this with my moms, because I think it's so true. Self-care is such a buzzword, but there's really self-maintenance, and in order for you to show up confidently, you have to do what works for you. And you whether that's working out, whatever that is, and then that will exude from you. How many times when we take that shower, when we know it's the full shower, where we're shaving, we're doing all the things, and we get out, we're like, yes, we're like, no one can tell us nothing that day. Like we're rocking, we're rolling, we have the time, because we've waxed and tweezed and done all the things. So whatever it is you have to do to feel like that every day, invest in you to do it, to ask for help, to reach out to your village. But as far as in the workplace, find that tribe, look for the ERG, and find out what's available. And if it's not, make it yourself. Like make it yourself.
In the workplace, when we start feeling that 100% with the tribe, 100% with the with finding people who are your kindred spirits, their studies have shown that working moms who go and work in the workplace are so much more productive and get so much more done than people who aren't in our shoes. So we do our job. We don't act like we're making excuses, because we're not making excuses. We are getting our job done. Stand in that confidence and realize that. And again, when they start throwing things at you that don't belong to you, just thank you, no thank you. And let it can feel overwhelming if we receive it and act like that thought is true. But it's not. You have that power.
My answer is really simple, as all my answers have been so far. I wear lipstick. It's really that, for me, it's really that simple. I teach my classes at 6 a.m. in the morning. Trust me, it's very hard for me to want to get up that extra 30, 40 minutes to put on the lipstick, to put on a little outfit. But I tell you what, when I walk into my studio at 6 in the morning, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing the heat. I'm playing some upbeat music that I know is gonna automatically put me in a good mood. I wear colors that are bold, like pink is my favorite color. So I'm making sure that I'm seen, I'm making sure that I'm heard. And so that's pretty much it for me. Wearing lipstick, putting on colors that exude power, like for example, pink, purple, red. And yeah, orange, exactly, same. And then putting on music, whether it's on a drive to work or whether, you're teaching, I love some Cardi B. Just something to just get me a little hype. But that's simply what works for me, and maybe that will work for you. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be always super complex. Anything that just makes you feel good. That's how you exude confidence, in my humble opinion.
Yes, and I just want to share one thing that someone I work with, she very, very closely, she's in like her mid-50s, and we were chatting, and I was like taking a lot of what people were saying to heart, and she was telling me about, she's like, there's this magical time in your 40s where you just are like, F you, I don't care. So she said, this is the thing, she goes, so I'm going to say to you, what someone told me to say, when people start saying things to me, and I'm like, I didn't ask for that advice. She goes, you say, feedback is a gift. And she said, it's your way of sort of saying, heard you, but screw you. Yeah. So I've used that a lot now. Feedback is a gift.
Thank you so much. We have a couple of minutes for questions.
So I know that when we talk about strategies and things like that, we're always talking about what you add in to the conversation, like what do you do? And I really like the conversation about the PCOS, because what I heard was the opposite. It's basically you're listening and you're slowing down and really like honoring what you need versus just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, just kind of do. Because we, I think, over glamorize productivity So my question is, what do you need to take off of your plate or release and let go of in order to feel more beautiful and confident?
That's a great question, and it's so true. So there's something called FOMO, right? We hear it often. That unplugged, you and I are going to connect on this level. And business owner, working mom, all the things. And I was like, I cannot step away. Like all the things I'm telling myself, I can't. But what I've learned over time is that sometimes it takes so much strength to take a massive step back to go inherently forward. And I honor that several times throughout the year. When I was getting overwhelmed with all of the social media and the strategizing, my summit's coming up, Krista, I feel you to put on an event like this. I'm with you, girl. And you're over the strategizing, the analyzing, the marketing, you have sponsors, and I was just done. And I said, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna check email, I'm not gonna do anything. You know what I did? I put all my adulting away, I stayed up late, I watched my Netflix shows, because usually it's, no, I can't do that. I have to go to bed early so I can get up, I gotta be productive. No, I stayed up late, slept in a little bit late, took advantage that it's a slow summer, my son is in school, and for about a good week and change, I didn't do anything except 911 emails, and that was it. And then, that next Monday, my big girl underwear, panties, and rocked it. But I think to your point that, and I do that several times throughout the year, and then the other massive thing I did was celebrated 200 episodes, 5 years of the podcast just recently. Thank you. And it's a podcast, it's a lot of time, energy, money, all the things. And I was like, well, what's next? And I said, well, I can't take a break. What will they say? And I'm like, but who's they? It's my podcast. What will I do? I'll come back, relaunch it the way I want to. So I stopped because I needed to stop. And I'll relaunch it and do it the way I want to do it and the way I see the 2.0 of it. So I love that question because yes, honor the rest. And then yeah, when it's time to grind, it's a season. But yeah, that was a game changer for me. So now I tell moms all the time, sometimes you got to take a step back from it all to really launch forward. And that's powerful.
Okay, so one of my favorite phrases, and I've been using this a lot at work recently, is not my sink, not my dishes. So, but I can't say that at Microsoft anymore. But not my sink, not my dishes, because I have a job, I do my job really well. That doesn't mean that you get to start putting your things on my plate. See, that's not my sink, that's not my dishes. So I remind myself of that, and I've actually coached other people on my team who are my peers. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to stay up late. You don't have to keep going, because you are going to be living in this body for the rest of your life, and this company doesn't care what happens to your body as a result of you staying up late. So you take care of you, and that self-maintenance piece. Do your own preventative maintenance on your own body to take care of your own self. But don't do other people's dishes.
Same for clients, not just for jobs.
Oh yeah, same for clients.
And for business
Boundaries.
owners.
Right. Boundaries with your clients too, yeah, 100%.
I totally agree with everything that they're saying, for sure. I would just like to also add, I would say look at your finances and see what you can take away that you either won't miss and that will also help you feel a little bit better. So for example, in case you're like wondering, what I took away getting my toes done and I just painted myself. And then now I have a little bit more money. So then if I want to go to Starbucks one day or just do something that just, I really need this right now, I have the extra money to do it. Because I stopped paying for something that I probably could, I could do that myself. It's not that big of a deal. So that's, it's simple, but it's effective. So that's a tangible action item that I've done. And there's other things. If you just look at your finances and see what you can still take away that you won't even miss, you'd be surprised what's on that list. Yeah.
And you may have friends who love doing what you don't love doing, and you guys can trade, take care of each other, barter, and even when it comes to play dates or dropping your kids off, right? We all do. Well, I hope that you're all doing that. Yeah, with your friends where it's like you leave, drop your kids off and go hang out at Target. And I'll see you in a bit. You know what I mean? So,
Nicole, Marie, Clarissa, thank you so much for putting hands together for a fabulous performance. I hope you guys got a good, ladies, I need to get, I talked to Marines. I hope you ladies have a really good time at the panel. Yeah, of course.
just one more. All of y'all have on your chairs, I put that 30-second vacation little flyer thingy. That's me. But on the other side is a little QR code. Just for the WMC attendees, you all get one free coaching session from me. So go ahead and book that, and then you'll see the little connector or the little QR code. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, Mother.
Motherhoodvillage.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter, Motherhood Village 1 on Instagram, and let's connect on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is powerful for working moms and business owners. If you're not leveraging that, LinkedIn is massive. So yeah, DM me, let's connect. I know. So I have my summit coming up. It's in Pompano Beach. It is in South Florida. It is personal development, personal growth. It is a weekend event. It is a retreat style. So that Friday we have a margarita party. Saturday we are offering childcare this year. And it's just personal development, personal growth in South Florida. Danielle's actually on the panel this year. September 21st. It's the 19th to the 22nd. 19th is a VIP cocktail party, and then the 21st is the full day summit. Jennifer actually was a speaker last year at the summit. And yeah, thank you.
Yes, so I'm Clarissa Shepherd once again, and you all can connect with me on PilatesMommy.com. That's my website, PILATES, and then mommy is MAMII.com. You can also find me on YouTube, same name, as well as Instagram. If you're looking to try to incorporate your little one in your workouts or any type of movement, that's the way to find me. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You're welcome to contact me at any point to ask me questions about it. Yes, and I do have my book. See, I need to get better at doing that. I also recently wrote a book called Sage Does Pilates right here. And it's the first book of its kind. And it's a way for small children to do Pilates or be introduced to Pilates at a very young age. Great bedtime story, great movement story, just overall feel good. And it's pink, so it's fun.
Thank you. Sure. So we're going to take a 5-minute break, just for time, and then we will have our WMC awards, and then hear from our keynote, and then we'll mingle again, and then we'll do that. Okay. Thank you. 12:30. We'll start.
So the one near us was more younger kids, and she's not So I put it up front for the year, and I think we I want to. That's what I'm doing.
And then if I wanted to take it a step further, I could go
Which one you want to?
so it depends on your time. So, I have a time.
That's what I'm doing all the time. I see,
Which actually is now now, but it's no better. And even like we don't see her on
oh, good. So I have to get in my family with both of us. It was like 225. Thank you. And I was like, oh.
I think it's. I think
what I like now because I'm a move. And boy, when I tell you I had the time of my life just being there all day. I did. I went to last time I had a visitor's pass. Yeah. I know. And I was like, the only thing is it's a little further out. I can make it work. I used to a gym that's 10 minutes, more like 25. I like friends because their body, origin in the body before everything else is really tough. I like bourbon. So I can go for dairy free. And it's because hormones and dairy products. My last sister keeps telling me to do it. So going dairy free, which is you got to do so much to do. Lots of stuff with kids. So dairy free is the boys will do like hard. They'll so she's like, I'm okay with it. I think it's coming up in September. She's like, I don't want to have to deal with it. One of the other ones is a lot of I love it. It is like a cafe. Yes, that's what I like. The Edge has that. That's the only thing they have. They have the cafe. So, right time got food. They just got all food too. They're home charger. And USB are delicious. But other than that, I'm trying to think I think I might just do you're still ovulating, so I just like I do need I eat everything. And she was just like, oh my God, I'm now. I'm like, it's not like how it used to be, like, and I get it. As you get older, it's harder to come off, right? I was like, something is not right. With everything, like my measurements to what I'm eating, how I'm working out, and my weight is going like this. Like, it could be literally, you see me today, tomorrow, I could look so much better. The next day, I could look so much better. It's like, my body, wow. Like, I started videos with me, I was crazy. That's a kind of long time, so I really like I can look one day, the next day I look 2 weeks. Like, it's crazy. It's elastic. I know doctors are telling us that you guys can start doing
very therapy and everything else, and
not so much for the weight loss, but to help trigger help control your hormones, so that the more I put my heart into it, faster I go.
it was the best decision I ever made.
It stops it
was a year and a half.
It's pretty but the slower I go.
What I went through for 20 years beforehand, it was like my worst days of every year for 20 years for an entire year. I mean, the sweats.
I was doing a lot of hip classes and stuff like that. I'm like, what is going on? Like sweat and strips. And I would I did it for a month straight and it was nothing.
So when I still watched the testosterone,
the next month, I didn't do nothing.
I did not do hormone replacement. Did not do it because I knew how shitty my hormones was like 5 years anyway.
I'm like, that's already doing these every day. And so I'm like, yeah, I gotta figure this out.
And you'll also learn to people who have polycystic.
I think that's what shit
react to pharmaceuticals differently.
And
it's because of the way our body works. So like even like they try to promote
like I'm trying to figure it out. I want to see if I can do it myself. I'm in that mindset right now. I can do it myself and kind of control.
So then I started taking the more natural. It's called histotonically.
I'm not opposed to it. My doctor says to take
your cortisol and your testosterone and everything else. And I've been doing it for a few years and I love it.
I don't get it all.
I upped my
I make it a little bit of distance. But because
I upped my protein as well to help.
I can't.
Yeah, the biggest thing is,
so that's the problem.
and since my biggest and as hard as
Okay, I could think aside
is forcing yourself.
But then it's like, my thought is like, okay, I do this for like 6 months, and I have to see kind of months when I'm
because your body is
it won't all come
usually
back.
shutting down and everything's resetting. And I also take all my meds right before bed.
And I see
Because rather than me taking more, even though we rush and burn through faster, I take all my meds.
She just stopped. I want to see where her body
But
goes.
there's a woman on Instagram who does a shit ton about it, and she's dark hair,
That's the only thing. So that's the thing, right? So that's how I'm like, okay, I can do that. But
PCOS naturally should sometimes be
it depends on how long
but
it takes,
she
right?
puts
You gotta know the start. Some people don't understand.
PCOS.
I have this woman, and she's extremely helpful, and it's also she does
learning your body as well. Because
oh my gosh,
PCOS can be completely different. And
the lady that has my last she was 6 months for years. Like,
she's a lot younger. But like,
and so the problem is, I tell them,
it's all really different.
I need to go to regular meetings. I don't need to stop
Some
me.
PCOS are getting
So it does always become a little
I have never had my second daughter. I did not sleep for 5 years. And it's just like, it's my girl.
For stomach though, what I've heard is you drink a lot of green
We're going to get started with one of the most important to me, and everything phenomenal, but one of the most important parts of the Working Mom Conference is each and every one of you are influential. Each and every one of you are just exude such a resilience to come, and I think acknowledging the fact that you are here and you are a working mother and you are taking priorities in your health is very, very important. So we are here for the segment of Hey Moms. Oh, thank you. Hey Moms. I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge your hard work. I want all of those things when it comes to being a working mom, because oftentimes we don't pat ourselves on the back and say anything. So, what is that clap thing? I get my attention. Hey, a baby! Sorry. There's a baby over here. Look, now the mom said, yeah, it's not, it's me. It's me. There's no children. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is have our Working Mom Award. And as you can see, or you might have seen on the website, that we nominate working mothers who are influential in the community or had an impact on their workplace moms or an impact on their community in itself. So it is an honor for me just to take each year and read some of those nominations, because what it says is someone took the time out to say, you have impacted my life and I want to acknowledge you. And thus far, working moms, we navigate countless responsibilities. We wear various hats, we balance careers and parenting and everything else in between. We often, like I said, don't pat ourselves on the back more. Like, just think about what you just did this morning with answering text messages, filming breakfast, and you're not even there. Like, just wondering exactly what the next steps are for getting home. I know some moms right now in real time are solving problems that they didn't expect to happen in the last 3 minutes. So I just want to, one, clap for you, clap for yourself right now and say, hey, I'm doing a very, very good job. And that is important for me. So to acknowledge the Working Mom Award, one thing that I do is come next year. So for the honoree, we have a Working Mom recipient, and then she will be back next year absolutely free, expense on us. So that is one thing for the working mother itself. Another thing is just acknowledgement on our website. We do get traffic, and we acknowledge with our partners and our sponsors that this person is doing a really, really good job. So, I mean, are you wondering who it is? You're like looking around like, is it me? And I would say no, but if Angel could come to the front of the room. Angel is a grand parent. Angel has been nominated for the Working Mom Award for her work at a workplace, for her impact on the community. And I just wanted to take that time to say there are people that feel you, there are people that see you and hear you, and they want to acknowledge you. And that came directly to info@thewmconference.com. So we have some flowers for you. And an award. And it reads, the Working Mom Award honors women leaders who are devoted to their careers and improving women advancement in the workplace. You have made a difference in your community despite all the challenges working moms face. Thank you, Angel. We'll see you next year. So, moving on, we have our keynote, Danielle Melton. And Danielle Melton and her mission, her values, directly aligned with the Working Mom Conference. She has been a huge supporter since 2022, and I cannot thank you enough. But I'm really excited to see what this message has to say. So, Danielle, welcome.
Thank you all. Oh, all right, so super excited to be here. Like Krista was saying, I was at the Working Mom Conference last year for her first year there, and who here was last year? Anybody last year? Handful of people? Okay. Well, it's just so beautiful because I went to day 1 and day 2, with the brunch and the main day, and just leaving so inspired and just so, just awesome, just feeling refreshed. And for me to be here today, I'm just so honored to, lead the keynote for our conference today. And just kind of looking back, it's been a journey, to be honest. And I entered into motherhood a little bit differently, which is through foster and adoption. And I really think that journey has helped me become the leader, the mother, the inspirer, the person that I am Danielle? Some of you are like, who is this woman? Why is she standing up here? Well, you know, being a mom is one of my favorite titles, but some people know me as an educator. I do have a master's degree in education and have taught and have done a lot of school administration work on the public school level. I also come from a lineage of educators. Like I'm talking my parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, great aunts and uncles. So education and inspiring and leading and things like that have been in my blood. I'm also an advocate. So I am officially a Forbes Coaches Council member, which is so exciting. And basically what that is it's an exclusive invitation-only council for top coaches to be able to speak on your subject matter expertise, which mine is supporting the well-being of working mothers. I'm also part of Mom Congress. So we are making big changes on the legislative level, trying to change policies, meeting with change makers, in the White House and in our own cities and states. And I've also have been on stages with some really cool people, from Emmy Award winners to CNN correspondents to, those who are New York Times bestsellers. And a lot of my work have been seen on different places, such as publications, with, Yahoo News, Forbes, and most recently, my husband and I was on NPR. So you guys get to see this side of me that used to be, and usually I'm in the background doing operations. I'm an operation mindset. I like to fix things. That's my thing. But, I am now a forward-facing founder and have founded 2 businesses. With one, I'm also, a coach and a consultant. So I help businesses, with their operations and stuff. Again, I'm an operations mindset person. And I've also built community, to empower and inspire working mothers, helping both in person and online. So in person, I've helped and supported over 500 women in my Oklahoma community and over 15,000 women online and counting. So yeah, just kind of thinking about this journey is a lot, and I'm really excited about it. But like I said, my favorite title is mom. And I mentioned to you guys that I'm a foster and adoptive mom, and my husband and I have supported over 35 children in our home, giving them love, care, and just giving our home a place of need in the foster care system. Thank you. Thank you. The little one right here, that's my Kennedy. She's been with us since she was 5, and she's our adoptive daughter. And I really think, literally, motherhood has shaped me, and it shaped all of us. I know we all have those stories too. But just kind of looking back on my journey, so excited about, the accolades and achievements and all the things I've accomplished, but, that's the glory. I mean, the story though, to get here, it has been a journey, to be honest. So let's kind of back up a little bit. I'm going to go to the background and kind of explain a little bit about my story. Okay, so as I mentioned, education is in my blood. I've literally have been educating since a young child. From 9 years old, I received my babysitter's license. Anybody heard of that? Good. Red Cross gives you your babysitter's license.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Got the CPR, got all the things. I'm like, I am certified. So, everything's good, okay? And they still have it, I believe.
They
So
do
for the
still
kids-
have it.
Okay.
Because the Girl Scouts offer it now to go through the Red Cross as one of their patches for the older girls.
Oh, okay. So think about it for your girls, okay? Boys or boys. So started at 9, being a teacher, with, being, daycare and babysitting, and then literally moved up from high school. So I started off as a preschool assistant teacher, and then, worked on my bachelor's degree, became a, lead teacher, worked on my master's degree. This is a picture of myself and my parents after I get my master's degree, and you can't really see this here, but this is a tassel. And that tassel means I graduated with honors, and which means I got a 4.0. And let me let you know a little bit about that really quick. I do have ADHD, and as an adult, I had to go to the doctor and I said, if I want to go to college, I need something, you know, because, you know, my parents, you know, they're older school and stuff like that, so I was like, I need something. So, you know, that was something that I was able to do for myself because I know this was important for me to be able to focus. And one of the things about me is when I put my mind to something, a lot of times I feel like, oh, it's achievable. Like, okay, again, systems, well, figure it out. All right, want to do a 4.0, so this is what I do, da-da-da-da-da. So that's how my life is. So I got my master's degree, then I started being a school principal, which was amazing. And then a cop landed my dream job, which was being a district director of operations. So, like, again, operations is in my blood, like in my soul. I love operations. So being able to be in this position was amazing. And let me kind of give you a little overview of what this looks like. So it's literally the superintendent, and I'm the writing person of the district. So we are the thought partners. We're the ones making the huge changes for the whole district side by side. So I'm doing interviews, I'm doing other things because that is who I am. That is who I am now. And just kind of thinking like, you know, getting there, it was really, really exciting, but it was a little bit challenging because, you know, now that I'm a mom, again, introduced to motherhood, now traditionally, it was something I was like, this is different, trying to figure it out. But just to give you a little bit of idea, like literally coming from a teacher assistant, working myself up to my dream job of director of operations, I was so excited and ready to hit the challenge. But to be honest, this was my reality. I was a boss at work and a failure at home, you guys. My job, and again, I'm used to putting my all into things. So my job said, like, you know, it's her and I, we're doing it together, whatever it takes. That costs like 60-hour work weeks, y'all, at times. And again, I'm used to doing a lot at work, but then at this time we had 6 kids in our home. My husband and I would usually split the responsibilities half and half, right? But I'm like, ooh, okay, this is different. I'm coming home and I'm like super exhausted. How are people doing this? And I just felt like a true failure. It was a horrible feeling, like to the point where when I get home, I was literally like in the car, like ready to go in. Like, what? Am I ready for this? Like, I'm not mentally ready to get in the house with these kids when they're grabbing on me. You know, all things in that regard. And I don't know. Am I the only one who ever felt like this? Like sitting in the car, like, oh, okay, good. Thank you all for being honest about that. Because I'm like, whoo. But I started dropping a lot of balls at home. Like, I was supposed to be over the dishes and laundry. You know, dishes. Literally got to a point where mold was on something. I just was not doing those dishes. And the laundry, I mean, piling up. And my husband, of course, like I said, we split things out in the middle, but he can only do so much. He's also working too. So it just came to the point where I just felt like I was doing so good at work. But home life was horribly doing. And it was so bad because, again, I'm an operations person. I'm here to fix things. And I couldn't fix this. I couldn't fix this at all. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I was pushing away the kids, my husband. I was in the shower crying. It was just so much. And it got to a point where I literally thought I was going to have a mental breakdown. I thought I was going to just blow it. And I said, I need some help, or I don't know what's going to happen. So I ended it up here in urgent care. I said, I need to go to urgent care before something bad happens to me mentally. I don't know. I felt like the mental institution was coming up. I don't know. I felt like I was going to just go off. So I went to urgent care and told the doctor, I'm overwhelmed. I just need help. Like, what's going on with me? I'm just, crying, just really crying. Snot everywhere. It was just bad, y'all. It was a bad scene. And the doctor said, okay, well, it sounds like you might need a break. I was like, okay. Okay, a break sounds great. So he's like, here's a doctor's note, just so you can have a breather, 3 days off, to kind of get yourself together and then jump back in it. Like, all right, 3 days. Not a lot. I was hoping 2 weeks. But, okay, we'll do 3 days. So during that time, I just began to research. I said, okay, I'm a fixer. I'm off work. The kids are at school. I'm home by myself. Now, I had 3 days to figure this out. And that's it. So, okay, operation. How do I fix me? Okay, let me just look up all the issues that I'm dealing with. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then I came across the definition of what I was experiencing, which was working mom burnout. And I'm going to share with you the definition of now. Working mom burnout, AKA, listen to this, depleted mom syndrome. Let's pause real quick. It's a syndrome, y'all? Wow, it's a syndrome. It's a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion that can occur when you're trying to balance work and family responsibilities. Hit it right on the head. Wow. And so funny because I thought I was the only one dealing with this. I know people are like, seriously? Like, again, I entered into parenthood like overnight. Some people, that's a little bit different. Even with my master in education, even teaching at the university level did not prepare me for motherhood. I'm telling others, oh, yes, just do this study, show blah, 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 before I became a parent. And then when it happened, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what they were talking about. Totally different. So I said, okay, surely I'm not the only one dealing with this. Let me just look. And then I found, no, many of us are dealing with this issue. So here's some statistics I found during my time off, my 3-day vacation, if you want to call it or whatever. 68% of us experience burnout. 79 experience anxiety trying to meet these unrealistic expectations. The way society, our work, family, ourselves put so much pressure on us, we're just trying to hit this bar that is unattainable. The way everyone expects us to work as if we don't have children and raise our kids like we don't work is so wrong. And it's not something we can do. Like, we're only one person, we're only human. 90% said they felt lonely in motherhood. And then 92 feel unsupported by society. And again, seeing that I'm not the only one out there dealing with these things, I said, okay, well, surely there's some solution out there. We know this is a huge problem. Working mom burnout is huge. What do we have in place to support? Again, I researched. Didn't find much. Found some blogs, I found some videos of like people who had burnout, but I wanted like the community of things. I wanted to be around others who are experiencing this so we can overcome this together. And I wasn't able to really find anything like that. So I said, you know what? If there's nothing in place, nothing operating, maybe I should create something. And that's where I created Motherboard, which supports the well-being of working mothers. And here's some real pictures of many of our events and many of our people that we've supported. And, just because we understand the importance of community and mindset. So those are the two areas, so a little bit about this. So we have in-person and we also have virtual. We had chapters nationwide. Like, we've evolved so many different times. Right now we're in our pilot phase supporting the workplaces because we found that even with our training and our support, it's only going to go so far because if we teach you to, the ability to say no, and the workplace is not giving you that, it's going to be hitting a wall. So we said, how can we take this further and make bigger changes? And that's where we have our pilot program. So going into businesses as like a benefit for like the well-being and like the wellness benefit from others. But anyway, going back to this, what we started and what we have here, we focus on two major areas. Community, being around others who understand your journey, like what we have here, as well as our training, which is really helping us reframe and reshape our mindsets. Because what we found was mindset has a lot to do with burnout. And thinking back to where I was, if I had the mindset I have today, that I had then, it would be totally, totally different. So I've coached a lot of women and supported a lot of community members. And one of the things I was able to help with is helping reshape the mindset. And through the journey, I've created some key features and features to help with your mindset, and I'm excited to share them with you today so you all can get your mind right and diminish burnout, because back then I was burned out and really, really having a hard time. And now I'm in a whole different place and helping others, reshape their mindset. And I'm excited to share it with you guys. So why does mindset matter? Because mindset shapes everything. I mean, if we wake up, they even say this. I think I saw something not too long ago. It was like, I even think something about weight loss. I kind of looked at the article. People are like losing weight because they're thinking like weight loss. So their body was doing it on their own. It was so interesting. So mindset is the way that we move. It's the way that we function. It's the way that leads basically our life. So I'm about to get into the 4 keys. So if you don't have a pen and paper, you may want this. Because this is what I've used to coach so many women and to help them be free from burnout. All right, the first one, reflect often. How many of you all are in here who are reflective, who practice reflecting? Anybody do it like normally? Okay. So I want to kind of give you a little bit of what my mindset is when it comes to reflecting. It is taking the time to say, in this situation, was the outcome what I expected or wanted? And if not, what do I need to do differently for that to not happen or to happen moving forward? So just thinking about that, like when you're entering into something, I know a lot of us, we got spouses or we even have kids, we have employers, employees, staff members that were like, ooh, okay. We entered into this conversation, and when we exited this conversation, it did not end like I thought it was going to. So it's really important to step back and really think of, how can I, either learn from it or lean in. And one of the things that we need to keep in mind is a lot of times when we reflect, we always want to reflect on like the negative. You've all probably heard this, but when we go to restaurants, we have gone to our favorite restaurant 20 times, or we saw a hair in our food once, remember that one, like I'm not going back. But what about the 20 great times, right? So think about it. We always want to normally focus on the bad, but let's focus on the good. Oh, this conversation or this outcome went well. Wow, what did I do then, reflecting, that ended it this way? And when you like that, then let's replicate and continue. So reflecting, it often is very, very important. All right, set your intentions. So I have a story. So one of the ladies I coach, her name is Junie, and I coached her. We went through these different frameworks and things like this. And one of the things she wanted to do with her goal is to be off work to take her kids on Friday to gymnastics. Now she was or it still is, engineer at an oil and gas company. Never asked off, always doing really well. And she was just really unsure of how to go into that. So using this, we worked on how to approach it. So her goal was to, go into, take her children to gymnastics. So with that in mind, we said, okay, so what are we going to do? What are our action steps to get us there? So we kind of have to step back and say, okay, this is what we want the end result to be. And with this being in mind, this is how we can get there. So long story short, she came back to me and said, oh my gosh, I did it. We went over, and my supervisor not only said yes, but he also said, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, you never asked me. I would love to be able to do that. And he just felt really excited for her to basically advocate for herself and be there for her kids. So all that to say, this is really important, starting with your outcomes. Come up with the goal of what you want. Figure out the priorities to get there, and then do it. And the last one is important. You can come up with stuff and do it. Where's she at? She just started her website. Let's just talk about that real quick. We spoke about it yesterday. She basically did this. Her goal was to have this website up because she has Momcation, which is beautiful, beautiful. And she just told me today, oh my gosh, I started the website, I turned it on, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly. So you have done it, your intent and your action, you got the goal in place. So, yes, so that's number 2. Set your intentions. Number 3 is shape your feelings. So we all know how it is when, well, let me just start here. Feelings, we know how strong feelings can be. Someone could say one thing and it can be interpreted 3 different ways. I don't know if we ever had kids that would say, hey, did you hear me? They'd be like, yeah. You're like, I'm sorry, what? Anybody ever like, say that one more time? Yeah, okay. Or yes ma'am, however you do it, but the way you say it really has big meanings behind it. So a lot of times we speak, you know, and our feelings are in our voices, in the way we move, you know, all the different things. So when you're wanting to shape your feelings, you have to kind of walk in a certain type of mindset. So if I want, or if you all want to say, hey, today I want to make sure I feel grounded. So if that's your goal, to feel grounded, these are the 2 questions you ask. How do I want to feel grounded? So what can we do to make sure I feel this way? Because again, what you can change is you. You can't change your outside. So things are going to happen, but how are you going to walk through it? So those are the big things here, shaping your feelings. And the last one is control the controllables. Control the controllables. And we know many times as working moms, we just feel like, I don't know what it's called, like we're just moving. Like we don't have any choice. We're just like a pong, or prong, whatever the word is, just moving around. We're just going. Football, this, work, church, this. These things is like, all these things are out of my control. I just feel like I'm just going, right? But what we do have control over, we need to make sure we control it. So these are the 4 things that I have in place to help you all, to help moms, to control the controllables. All right, it's the 4 Ds, okay? Very simple. When something comes your way, you pick one of the 4. You either do it, that means I'm going to put that in place. Delegate, I'm going to give that to someone else. Diminish, we're not doing that at all. Or defer, we're going to do that a little bit later, okay? It should fit in one of the 4 categories. And with the first one being do, I did a Forbes article not too long ago. I think it was maybe September. It was almost a year ago. It was talking about how to end your day feeling accomplished. And one of the things on that list I had was a done it list. Again, easy to show all the things we haven't done, because I don't know about you, but I've never, ever said as a working mom, oh, I have nothing to do. I've done everything. Said no mom ever, right? So being able to focus on what you've done really, really helps your mindset as well. So if you think about it, if you have a done it list and a to-do list, a lot of times your done it list could be longer than your to-do list, but a lot of times we don't take the time to think about it. It's like even the little things, like, I did get my toddler to bed on time today. Like, I stop and praise myself for that. But that was a lot of work, right? So just making sure that we are doing this and controlling the controllables. And the biggest control that you have is controlling your mindset and how you enter into spaces. My last thing when it comes to this is, tasks that we don't like. For instance, like things you have to do where it's like, like taking your kid to football practice. I don't have a football player, but I mean, just think about it. Go to football, like, I have other things to do. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying, right? You can go in that mindset and just be negative the whole time. Football season's gonna be a while, so you have fun with that mindset, right? Or you can say, you know what? Again, reshaping how you're entering into it. I am so proud that my child made the football team. In fact, I had the privilege to take them to football practice, and guess what I'm going to do? During that time, I'm going to give myself some self-care and read one of these books. Oh my goodness. Now your mindset is changed. You now are doing things for you. This is now a space while he's playing football, you can read your favorite novel, you can listen to a podcast, you can do something for you. So either way, that task is still being done, but how you enter into it is a game changer. So, all right, so let's go back over the 4. So it's reflect often. Again, looking at achievements and challenges. You either learn from it, when it's the ones that are like, should have done that a little differently. Or lean in. I did well in that. Let's keep doing that. 2, set your intentions. Start with the outcome. And then going backwards. And then going with what your goal is with the outcome in mind. What priorities you need to put in place. What action items you need to do. Shape your feelings. How do I want to feel? What can I do to make sure I feel this way? Keeping that feeling in the top of mind. And then again, control the controllables. The 4 Ds, and then the done it list is a game changer. Now, when I created these things, again, I was going through a lot during that time, as I mentioned, and have helped so many women, reframe their mindset and help them diminish burnout. And with these 4 things, I expanded on it. So this is like the foundation piece. but expanded on it and created a workbook, which I have back there if you all are interested. And it's also on Amazon, but it's $10 off here if you want to buy it in person. But like I said, I've helped coach women nationwide to really be free from being burnt out. And our tested and tried system and framework is in here, and it's very, very helpful. And again, I'm a working mom. I'm quick. We got a lot to do, so I don't make this long. It's like a couple pages straight to the point, starting with those 4 things, and then really setting our intentions. And what we do is we meet actually once a month to go over this. So not only do we have the workbook, but we already know, even when we say, oh yeah, we're gonna do it, we're gonna get it done. Oh, I don't have time, right? Oh, I was meaning to, but if we know that if we have like a team, if we have people who are keeping us accountable, we're gonna get it done. So we have that accountability with our monthly goal setting workshop to literally just be on Zoom and go over the workbook together, silently filling it out. All right, and then anybody want to share? Okay, so it's about 45 minutes to an hour, the first Monday of the month, just to literally shape the month ahead. And it's so, so helpful. So, so helpful. So I just want you to all to know that. And as I was mentioning, I really think that what we go through really shapes our present and our future. And, being someone who has dealt with so much burnout, I really wanted to create this to help you all not be part of that 68% of working moms who are experiencing burnout and come on the other side with us, right? So as I end today, just want you to know that you're not alone. I thought I was. You're not alone. This is hard out here. We're making big changes. But until then, we need to really reshape our minds so that we can literally be free from our minds, be free from all the issues that we experience and the struggle and juggle that we have with working moms. Because again, it's how we enter into things, even things that cannot change. What can we think of? What can we do? How can we shape our minds so that it's in a positive experience so that we can thrive instead of survive? Conference name. There you go, plug that in. As a working mother. So I will be in the back with the workbook. I would love to meet every single one of you. If you want to be part of our Motherboard Insider, that is our newsletter. We have 8,000 women on it right now, which is so amazing. Join that. We'd love for you to be part of that. And yeah, just thank you all for being here, and thank you for having me. Any questions? I'll be in the back. I'll be in the back.
Thank you so much, Danielle. That was a bookload of information and knowledge. And like she said, she'll be in the back. When we say connections and you have goals and you're looking for someone who can just come with that intelligence and that knowledge and that thrive, Danielle is someone you would want to meet. So please, if you have not met Danielle, link up with her. Even if your smallest goal is a promotion. That's a huge goal in itself. And I'm not saying you need to start a business tomorrow, but even if it's just that, I would say link up with Danielle. That's very important. Other than that, I think we did really good this weekend. What about you? Yeah? Did you get, the sessions were good, the food was good, everything. Even it was 103 degrees yesterday. We all survived, right? We're all okay. So I want to personally thank each and every mom that came out to the Working Mom Conference, our second year. Was a blast for every single one of you, and I'm so happy to meet every single one of you. We are having a third year. We are going to do a third year. That being said, look out for an email so that you have 50% off. It'll be to the end of the month. You have 50% off and you can come out. I hope to see each and every one of you next year. And then if you are doing something, please email me, and I want to be as supportive as you were this year for me. So thank you. We're here. This is ours for the next hour or so. Mingle, hang out, please. I can't take the bottle of wine outside, so please drink whatever you would like. There's waters over here. And thank you so much.
asked her if next year was going to be Philly again or if she was going somewhere else. So, last year was DC.
And it's a wrap, moms. Thank you so much for joining virtually. I hope you gained a lot of knowledge and information from your homes or wherever Walmart runs or Target runs. It's an incredible support system, even if you couldn't be here in Philadelphia. I hope you can join us in person next year, and goodbye.
You're welcome. Do you still want this to pan? Do you want me to shut it down? Okay. All right. Did you want to pull more people for testimonials? Right now, I think we have like 6.